and were also filled with debris. Whenever it rains, this creates a deluge that floods people's rooms.
Spraying room has in. And no soon to a my paint, your gong, I display castle, and your box when Yamana,
Anuano, I am more, HM Bolano. It is Anuani film more. I think say you be okay. But I say Omu Jim, yeah, that's Omu Yim, by Yimuno, as Omu Yimu ye.
No longer I will do it, we need to do it, I have to do it. We want to know what is going on. The rains have started, and I'm glad that you're doing such a great job already, but we need to do more and quickly.
I am of the view that we can't do it the way we have done in the past. We probably would have to look at whether it won't be better to contract this out to somebody, a private person, so that his hands will be on Odo all year round. So that there won't be the need to panic when you are getting into June. You are sure that the channel is always free and can carry any volume of water that we'll have in a particular year.
The government officials also interacted with some market women about the need to stop dumping rubbish into the Odo River. At the end of the tour, the Minister for the Interior, Mr. Prosper Bani, told Ghanaians not to panic as government is working relentlessly to check the flooding problem.
Accra is not the only city that experiences floods. What we are doing right now is to put mechanisms in place to prevent excessive flooding. However, should we have floods, we should be prepared with the institutions that are capable to rescue individuals and quickly protect property. And that is what we are doing.
The Minister for Education, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, has called for a concerted effort to end examination leakages in the country. The Education Minister was speaking at a news briefing in Accra less than a week after the educational authorities announced the development of a new software that detects and exposes possible examination leakages.
Issues of examination paper leakage continue to rock the education sector at all levels, from basic to tertiary. With this year's Basic Education Certificate examination set to begin on Monday, the 13th of June, preparations are underway to ensure the examination is a success. As the schools and their candidates prepare, the Ministry of Education says it is doing all it can to ensure that the examination is incident-free. According to the Minister for Education, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, her outfit has put in place measures to ensure there will be no leakage in this year's BCE.
The rules and regulations governing the examinations have all been explained to you. Just follow them and entertain no plans of deviating from them. I suggest that you all cooperate with your supervisors and invigilators to ensure that the needed serene atmosphere is created and maintained throughout the period of the examinations. Once again, I wish you all resounding success.
Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman asked the candidates to remain calm and abide by the rules and regulations of the examination. She further advised them to crave for success that comes from hard work and determination.
The National Media Commission has launched its election project dubbed Improving Media Regulations in the Regions for Peaceful Election. At the launch in Kumasi, the chairman of the NMC, Mr. Kwesi Jan Apintin, asked the media to create a fair platform for all the political parties in order to positively influence the outcome of the general elections.
The election project is an initiative of the National Media Commission, NMC, with funding by Star Ghana. The project aims to enable the NMC to closely monitor activities of the media in the regions to ensure that the practitioners live up to the highest profession standards and discipline. This is an apparent recognition of the high stakes in this year's polls and what any act of unprofessionalism could have on national peace, security, and units before, during, and afterwards. Much attention is given to the Ashanti region in view of the region's status as a political hotbed and the many electronic media that are located there. The projects will be monitored by the respective regional media advisory committees, which are the monitoring wings of the NMC. The Ashanti Regional Director of the NCCE, Mr. Yakubu Al-Hassan, appealed to the media and political parties to help in educating the public on their civic responsibilities and also to reduce rejected ballots.
NCC and the Electoral Commission, we do things in common. So, and we say that education with regard to the election is a shared responsibility between the NCC, the citizens, and the political parties, because they need the votes more. So instead of using the airtime to launch attacks on personalities and so on and so forth, they should use the airtime to educate the people on the right way to vote so that their vote will be counted.
The chairman of the NMC, Mr. Kwesi Jana Penten, urged the Regional Media Advisory Committee to ensure that media practitioners live up to expectations, especially during and after the election.
It is the role of the media to educate voters on the election process and their rights as citizens. This is a cardinal role the media must play. We must report the election process and be the watchdogs to ensure that the process is as it should be. We must provide a platform for all parties and all views to be canvassed, to be shared, to be debated. We must communicate messages that are coming from political parties, civil society, and the media themselves.
The Executive Secretary of the NMC, Mr. George Sapon, noted that the media has a major role to play in ensuring this year's elections produce results that are acceptable to all the parties.
The ruling NDC marked its 24th anniversary with a clear message to prosecute its political agenda in unity, honesty, with determination. The anniversary celebration took place at the party headquarters at Adabraka in Accra. It saw most of the party bigwigs, some of whom had openly disagreed over issues, come together for the celebration. The NDC was registered as a political party in June 1992. Our reporter Napoleon Atikito was at the event.
Main founder, founding fathers, party leader and flag bearer, chairman and general secretary were all present at the gathering of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, as the party marked its 24th anniversary. The NDC was established by Fly Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings 24 years ago as the then outgoing Provisional National Defense Council, PNDC, steered the political transition from military rule to constitutional democracy. The then chairman of the PNDC, Fly Lieutenant Rawlings, won the first elections under the Fourth Republican Constitution in the name of the NDC. The party has seen 16 years of power out of the 24 years of the current political dispensation. Aside from Jerry Rawlings, the NDC has provided two other presidents, late John Atta Mills and current leader John Mahama. The NDC prides itself for launching Ghana into the most stable political phase and building most of the key national infrastructure. The party says its manifesto for the 2016 elections will soon be made public. The message of the day is perhaps the proposed party school to train or groom up-and-coming loyalists in the principles which has been the electioneering platform of the party. The party school is configured to be a succession plan, an admission that some new faces of the political tradition might be veering from the norm, being a party devoted to the ordinary people.
We all joined the party because of some values and principles that our founding fathers not only preached, but did everything possible to practice. This party is anchored on those values and principles. Issues of wealth without work, which we totally against. Issues of knowledge without character, which we are totally against. Issues of politics without principles, which is once again rearing its ugly head in our body politics. This is a party that is against these blunders.
The voice of Mr. Jerry Rawlings resonated well with his audience. There were no booms as his strong opinions have come to be known. His concise speech was directed at party unity and a clean campaign.
The NDC, ladies and gentlemen, was born out of the toil and the sweat of the ordinary people who spontaneously, as you and I know, rose up on June 4, 1979 to put an end to the arrogance of power, massive corruption, and the denigration of the people of Ghana for well over a decade.
President John Mahama justified why the NDC deserved another term, one that he says will be devoted to the real sector and economic opportunities for people.
We believe in egalitarianism. We believe in equitable distribution of the national cake in a manner that is equal and fair. We believe in the equality of all our citizens. We believe every child, youth, man or woman deserves and must have a decent and equal shot at the available opportunities this nation has to offer.
Awards were given to some party faithfuls for their dedication to the cause of the party over the years. They included musician Jewel Aka, Mr. James Korte in Benin Toe, Ni Teko Tego, Eric Kofi Asare, as well as those who were signatories to the founding charter of the party in the regions and districts. Posthumous awards were also given. Napoleon Atukitu reporting.
The Sekondi fishing harbour is to undergo major expansion works. The $105 million project is being funded with a grant from the Japanese government. On a visit to the region, the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Madame Sherry Ayite, revealed that the project, which will start in July this year, will create jobs and enhance socioeconomic development in the region.
As part of the minister's working visit to a number of fishing communities in the western region, she met with various stakeholders in the fishing industry at Sekondi. These include representatives of the Ghana Navy, the Marine Police Unit, Friends of the Nation, as well as Hempuano, a non-profit organization. Key among issues discussed was the protection of the ocean and the sustainable management of the country's marine resources.
Now, we have also negotiated with trawlers, fishing trawlers, and they've agreed that this year, November, they will start their close season. So November, no fishing trawler will be at sea. And we will give this information to the Navy, so the Navy can stop any fishing vessel they see at sea in November. And in 2017, all trawlers, tuna vessels will not be fishing from January to February. Fishing trawlers will not be fishing from February to March. So for Ghana, we will have 3 months closed season.
That a fisheries management plan has been instituted to provide closed season for fishing and fishing hours allocated to all fishing vessels. The minister went to Abuesi and the EDIF. The project cost 2 million Ghana cedis. The chairman of the Abuesi Fish Processors Association, Mr. George Aidu Aben, disclosed that the association and the University of Ghana have signed a memorandum of understanding which will enable 30 students of the university to undergo regular 3 months training in research, fish processing and preservation. Mr. Aben said the association is working to make its fish processing meet international standards. At Edeba, the minister commended the association for its dedication and hard work. She also donated a cash of 5,000 Ghana cedis to the association in support of its fish processing activities. Ambim in the Elembele district of the region is where the minister visited next. She interacted with fisher folks, especially women fish processors from the Jomoro district, the Nzima East Municipality, and the Elembele District. She explained to them that the government, through the ministry, has put in place an insurance package for fisher folks as well as a scholarship scheme for their children. She advised the fisher folks to take keen interest in the education of their children. The minister donated bowls and various tools to the women to help them in their businesses. One of the beneficiaries, Madame Emilia Abaka Edu, in an interview with GBC24, lauded the various steps being taken by the government to improve the lot of fisher folks.
A public dialogue has taken place in Accra on the draft digital terrestrial television broadcasting policy. If passed into law, the policy will become the blueprint for the regulation of the country's digital platform. The draft digital terrestrial television broadcasting policy seeks to separate content from transmission. This means that the television stations will package their unique contents, whilst government set up the Ghana Digital Company to handle transmission. On a yearly basis, the television stations will pay the Ghana Digital Company for being on the digital platform. At a public forum to discuss the draft policy, participants thoroughly scrutinized the 12-paged document, which touched on concerns of the consumer, broadcasters, and the government. Some issues raised included program composition, which have 70% local content, break in transmission, especially when there's bad weather, as well as tariffs that stations are required to pay whilst on the platform. In the first year after the switch-off, existing media houses will be given tax holidays of 75%, 100% on the second year, and for the third year and beyond, both existing and new broadcasters will assume payment of full tariffs. This, according to representatives of the various stations, should be reviewed. Representatives of the state broadcaster raised concerns about the misrepresentation of Ghana Broadcasting with Ghana Television, as according to them, aside Ghana Television, GBC currently has 5 digital television channels. Some GBC workers also spoke about the tariff regime. The chief executive of Crystal Television cautioned the public about the type of television sets to buy, as according to him, not all television sets could be useful during the process.
All Ghanaians should know that not all flat TV sets are digital, and not all digital TV sets are compliant to Ghana's DTT standards.
The National Communications Authority hopes to conduct market surveillance to guide consumers to purchase the right product.
The NCA will soon embark on a market surveillance exercise to ascertain and verify, 1, that indeed all the DTT receivers on the market conform to our conformance regime, 2, that the importers and dealers are in compliance with our standards, and thirdly, that only the approved television receivers bear the Digital Ghana Thumb certification mark.
According to the Communications Ministry, although Ghana has missed several deadlines in the past, digital transmission is a plus to Ghana's television industry.
Perhaps this is the time for the non-telecom wing of the NCA to also avail themselves to be heard.
The first phase of the digital transition is underway in Accra and Kumasi. The second phase will be extended to the Volta, Upper East and Upper West regions. Western, Central, Eastern and Bonafo will come on board in the third phase. Ghana will finally switch off from analog on September 21, 2017. A mascot was unveiled to formally launch Ghana's digital migration. Reporting for GBC24, Gifty AG, Accra. Well, still on our own, 36 people have graduated from the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation Engineering Training School after a 4-month intensive training. GBC's Director of Engineering, Mr. Oscar Incho, advised the graduates to keep learning so they could cope with the rapid changes in the industry.
32 trainees and 4 staff from the Technical Production Department of GBC took part in the 4-month technical program. Phase 1 was a tutorial session supported by study tours. Phase 2 comprised of working attachments at relevant sections of the radio and TV broadcast operations. The participants were taken through principles of radio and television broadcast and transmission technologies, FM technology, digital processing and transmission technology, and computer-based sound recording and editing.
Some of us came here with no or little knowledge about broadcasting, and those of us from other institutions have acquired more knowledge than we came in. I must also say that the wealth of knowledge exhibited by the technical and engineering staff of GBC is worth appreciating.
The course evaluation undertaken by the school and also testimonies from trainees indicate that our objectives have been achieved. To the graduates, I humbly implore you to endeavor to make good use of any opportunity that comes your way.
The Director of Engineering at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, Mr. Oscar Incho, urged the graduates to further sharpen their skills.
You are in an industry, broadcasting technology, in an industry which continues to evolve with a lot of very rapid changes. You have to continue to read, continue to learn from every opportunity you will have, because the industry is a hot one.
The acting principal of the Broadcasting College, Joyce Enim Ayeko, said the training school will soon award diploma certificates.
A book titled Vision, the Fuel That Drives Leadership has been presented to the management of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation by the leadership of the Full Gospel Church International. The author of the book, Right Reverend Samuel Noy Mensah, stressed the need for leaders to have a vision that will transform society.
The author of the book, Vision, the Fuel That Drives Leaders, Right Reverend Samuel Noy Mensah, is the Chief Executive of the Omega Leadership International. He is a leadership development consultant and the president of the Full Gospel Church International. The book touches on topics such as principles of vision in leadership, vision development, turning vision into action, how to deal with opposition to vision, national leadership and ministry engagements. Right Reverend Mensah said the society would be better if there were more visionary leaders.
We have found GBC providing key leadership in the area of media, entertainment, education, information. And some of us believe that GBC can be the CNN of Africa. The greatest tragedy in our society or in our country is not the absence of leaders, but is the absence of a leader without a vision. And today, nations are woefully suffering just because we have leaders who have no vision.
On behalf of the group, the Director of Administration of the Full Gospel Church International, Samuel Duamekpo, presented a citation to the management of GBC. GBC's Deputy Director of Corporate Affairs, Mr. Kofi Nyadi, said management will put the book to good use.
We in GBC shall make sure we also review the book, since we all work with the mission and vision of an organization. Any organization which hasn't got a mission and a vision will not be able to progress.
The leadership of the Full Gospel Church International are optimistic that the book will help transform leaders in the country.
The wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Matilda Emisartha, has urged Ghanaians to appreciate, celebrate, and tell the success stories of young achievers. Mrs. Emisartha made the call when 2 national spelling bee champions in the English and French categories paid a courtesy call on her in her office in Accra. Ifwa Ansah is the first ever Ghanaian and African to make it to the finals at the 2016 National Spelling Bee Championship in Washington, D.C., while Phoebe Naki Odey won the French category in the National Spelling Bee here in Ghana. A report by Theodora Amedeto.
Senescent. S-E-N-E-S-C-E-N-T. Senescent.
That is correct.
J-N-A-N-O-E-E-L-L-A. Granny.
That was Ifwa Ansah and Phoebe Naki Odey at what they love to do best. Ifwa 14, a pupil of the Reed Church School, entered the competition some 3 years ago. Even though she failed twice to achieve the ultimate, she persisted, and with hard work and coaching of Mr. Emmanuel Afo in the third year, making her the only Ghanaian and African among 45 other nationalities to make it to the finals in the National Spelling Bee Championship in Washington, D.C. At age 10, Phoebe Naki Odey of North Ridge Lyceum School is the winner of the French category of the Spelling Bee organized at the Alliance Française in Accra. Ifwa and Phoebe's visit to the wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Matilda Misa Arthur, was to share their experiences and success stories.
The first round was easy. The elimination was in the subsequent rounds. Then I realized I was left with 3 of us. I was the only one representing my school and the only female. So the final was keenly contested. I said a prayer each time I was called. Then finally I came out as the winner.
The first round in the competition, it's a written test, vocabulary questions. I got 35 out of 36 in that test. Altogether, it's been a very enriching and great experience, and I think that all fellow Ghanaians should try as much as possible to also experience it.
Mrs. Emisa Arthur, who continues to champion the education and development of children in the country, could not hide her admiration for the girls.
These young ladies, even though they went to spelling bee from their respective schools, went as Ghanaians first. But if you're a Ghanaian, no matter where you are an ambassador for Ghana. We need to celebrate people who've done something good. We need to tell their story so that the young girls and boys coming up will see what they've done and know that they can also do it.
The country director of the Ghana chapter of the National Spelling Bee, Madame Eugenia Techi Menson, admitted that it was hard work and dedication that has brought Ifwa and Phoebe this far. The occasion was graced by the Deputy Minister for Tourism, Creative Art and Culture, Madame Jifa Gomashi, parent of the Spelling Bee champions, as well as sponsors of the competition. Theodora Amedeto, GBC24.
And we say ayeko to these 2 young women. Well, we'll be back with the business segment after this short break. Please don't go away.
Hello, good evening and welcome. It's the last working day of the week and we bring you some business updates. I am Dorothy Ajamai. Fruits and vegetables from Ghana entering the European Union market are usually seized by custom officials because they do not meet the required standards. Ahead of the implementation of the EPA, the European Union and the Ministry of Trade and Industry are organizing a series of sessions to train Ghanaian exporters on meeting the European Union's requirements.
The EU is the world's largest single market, with 503 million people and more than 25% of the world's GDP. It is a good target for any business. In 2014, trade between Ghana and the EU stood at more than 6 billion euros, representing 30% of Ghana's trade to the world. Ghanaian firms enjoy preferential conditions that allow them not to pay duties when entering the EU market, and this makes products from Ghana more competitive on the EU market. Despite this opportunity, traders in the food and textiles firms in Ghana do not export as much as they could because some of the products do not meet the specifications and requirements of the EU market. Mindful of this, the EU has rolled out a program to build the capacity of institutions and exporters under the Trade-Related Assistance and Quality Enabling Program (TRAC) project. It is in furtherance of this that exporters of textile, vegetable and fruits met in Accra to be schooled on how to access the EU market. The ambassador for the European Union to Ghana, Mr. William Hanna, said that the EU is committed to assisting Ghanaian firms to ensuring that difficulties encountered in accessing the EU market is removed.
We promote trade throughout the world. The European Union is about breaking down the trade barriers between us, but also trying to break down barriers to trade around the world. We believe that more trade will lead to development and more pro-poor growth. And so we try to bring together all our different instruments, whether it's development cooperation, whether it's the access, and whether it's development cooperation funds used to assist in this area.
The Chief Director at the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Mr. Dawar Nobabaika, urged Ghanaian exporters to adhere to standards of the EU market.
In order to achieve economic growth, African countries should deepen regional integration, diversify production, and intensify trade among its member countries. The Ministry under the TRAC program is taking lead in establishing an accreditation service for Ghana's conformity assessment bodies, which will work to substantially reduce technical barriers to trade and invariably lessen the risk of purchasing fake and substandard products or services.
The second and third workshops would be held in Kumasi and Takoradi later this year. The technical director of ABL, Mr. Vincent Oliver, says the company has invested more than $100 million into upgrading the company's technology in the last 5 years. This is to improve on the quality of its products and increase efficiency. Mr. Oliver disclosed this when the company donated 3 skip containers worth 35,000 Ghana cedis to the Agbogloshi community to improve sanitation in the area on World Environmental Day. Accra Brewery Limited manufactures and distributes beer, soft drink and non-alcoholic malt beverages in Ghana. Its products include Club Premium Lager, Castle Milk Stout, Club Shandy, Stone Strong Lager, Chairman Malt Liquor, Club Muscatella, among others. 3 years ago, the company embarked on a $100 million expansion project at its existing site. The expansion saw the installation of new packaging lines, 10 beer storage vessels, warehouse and storage facilities, and 2 new autonomous power generators. This doubled its brewing capacity and expanded production and sales of its products. According to the managers of ABL, the second phase of the project included the installation of a new effluent treatment plant, new brewing equipment, and upgrading the municipal water supply. ABL says contributing to the social development of the country is at the core of its operations. Hence, the 35,000 Ghana cedi donation to the Agbogloshi community in Accra. The donation coincided with the World Environmental Day, a day set aside to create awareness on the need to conserve and protect the environment. As part of activities to mark the day, the company, in collaboration with the Environmental Protection Agency, organized an environmental care talk for the employees and members of the Agbogloshi community. The technical director of ABL, Mr. Vincent Oliver, said that ABL's processes are in line with the best environmental practices.
I think we're very proud of our environmental record, because if you look at the, we need to talk facts. And if you look at the investment that we've invested in the brewery, it's demonstrated ABL's commitment to the industry, to the growth in Ghana. As I've said, we invested over $100 million in upgrading technology. Now, that gives us an advantage of quality. We can ensure our products are of world-class quality, but also it introduces efficiencies in lower water reduction, lower energy use per bottle of beer. And we also then have launched recycling campaigns, like we've seen the Voltic initiative to recycle PET. So we operate in a community and we're very aware of our involvement and our effects on the environment.
The Assistant Program Officer at the EPA, Mr. Samuel Quay, emphasized the need to encourage tree planting so as to reduce global warming.
The efforts to, one, educate their staff on the importance of the environment and what they can do as individuals to support the environment, and the tree planting that has taken place, and the donation of the dustbin that they have made to the Agulush community to support waste management. There are things that as an agency we encourage. So I can say they are doing well.
Management and staff of ABL embarked on a tree planting exercise in its catchment area and also presented containers worth 35,000 Ghana cedis to the Agbogboshi community. The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has begun a Customs Proficiency Certificate course for Customs House agents. The certificate course for the agents is to ensure that only qualified customs brokers work within the port to ensure efficiency in Ghana's clearing process.
Customs House agent is licensed to act as an agent for transaction of any business relating to the entry or departure of the import or export of goods at a customs station. In Ghana, the legislative instrument on Customs House Agent Licensing Regulation of 1978 enjoins all importers to engage the services of licensed Customs House agents for the clearance of cargo at any freight station. To become an agent, one must have knowledge in the freight forwarding business and must pass the Customs Proficiency Certificate course. Although Customs have over the years been training and conducting the proficiency examination for the past 4 years, Customs have not been able to organize the exams. Having dealt with all bottlenecks, Customs opened application this year for the freight forwarders to participate in the proficiency training and exams. Over 1,000 applications were received, but only 240 were considered to take part in the course. The Deputy Commissioner in charge of Post-Clearance Audit, Mr. Isaac Crensel, said the training has become necessary to ensure that the country's port is managed by competent custom brokers.
Training of custom brokers becomes necessary with the opening custom modernization and trade facilitation initiatives in line with international instruments such as the revised Kyoto Convention and the safe framework of standards and the related initiatives like authorized economic operatives programs, coordinated border management, single window, and the new Custom Act 891/2015.
The acting Tema Sector Commander of Customs, Mr. Confidence Nyaji, mentioned that opportunity will be given to all agents to acquire the certificate, after which the laws will be enforced to weed out all custom agents without the proficiency certificate.
They use criteria to determine those who must have access to it. But as was mentioned to you, there's going to be another one pretty soon before the year ends.
The certificate course, which will take 4 weeks, will take participants through ethics in customs brokerage, customs warehousing, and the processes of the single window clearance.
Insurance news. Rains are natural disasters that cannot be controlled by human activities. In this regard, there's the need to take a comprehensive home insurance policy. This policy covers challenges imposed by rain, fire and flooding. The head of bank assurance at Stanbic Bank, Mr. Henry Manyo-Planch, says the bank is ready to assist policyholders receive compensations in the case of eventuality.
The rainy season imposes some challenges in terms of risk of flooding, fire, just like we experienced last year. As a bank, our bank assurance license allows us to offer insurances for personal customers. So for our personal individual customers, we have already launched a comprehensive home and contents insurance. So if such tragedy should fall them, where a flood and other associated perils destroys their property, they have this comprehensive cover that enables us to call on the insurance to pay for any losses or damages that have arisen out of the incident. Our customers do not have any worry at all. All they do is go into the branch as they are transacting their normal banking transactions, quickly pick a one-page form, sign up, and they have insurance cover. And indeed, we have signed up quite a good number of them on our home and contents insurance.
The insurance news was brought to you by SIC Live. We have more news coming up. Please don't go away.
Welcome back. The National Health Insurance Authority has engaged its stakeholders in the Apadintra East Municipality on the payment of claims through the capitation system. The consultations are part of an awareness campaign ahead of the implementation capitation system of the paying service providers in the central region.
Capitation refers to payment of a set amount to healthcare service providers for each NHIA subscriber assigned to their facility at a period of time, whether or not the person comes seeking healthcare. The schedule of payments can be daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, half-yearly, or yearly. The practice of capitation gives the subscriber the right to choose a preferred health provider, and intermittently, the subscriber can choose to remain or change a provider depending on the quality or otherwise of the services rendered. Capitation is expected to eliminate fraudulent claims and delays associated with claim payment. The capitation system has been implemented in Ashanti, Volta, and Upper West regions of the country. Ahead of the implementation in the Central region, some education was carried out. The Central Regional Director for the National Health Insurance Authority, Mr. Francis Otifrimpong, said the policy would reduce overcrowding at various regional and teaching hospitals. Participants, who were mainly service providers, raised some concerns about the scheme, some of which were the number of months the scheme covered lactating mothers and their babies, what the scheme covers and what it doesn't. In response to the concerns, Mr. Otifrimpong said after 90 days, the mother is expected to enroll the child onto the scheme. The scheme also covers about 90% of diseases. In an interview, the district manager of NHIS at Dunkwanofin, Mr. Charles Akon Hayford, disclosed that inadequate staff and poor internet connectivity, bad road network, are some of the challenges facing the scheme within his jurisdiction. Some participants spoke to GBC24. Payment through capitation was expected to go nationwide in 2014, but due to inadequate education about it, the process has stalled.
Thousands have attended a farewell procession for boxing legend Muhammad Ali in his home city of Louisville in the U.S. state of Kentucky. The heavyweight champion and rights activist died last Friday, aged 74. The cortege took Ali's body past key sites in his life ahead of an interfaith memorial service. President Jacob Zuma and the National Prosecuting Authority (NPA) have begun its efforts to overturn a High Court ruling that the NPA should review a 2009 decision to drop corruption charges against the president. In April, a judge described that decision as irrational. Last month, NPA head Sean Abraham said that prosecutors should be able to exercise discretion over whether an investigation should continue. He pledged to challenge the court ruling. That's it for the National News. Sports is next.
Good evening. Let's update ourselves from happenings in the world of sports. The draw for the first ever National Women's Football League knockout competition has been held at the GFA Secretariat. With that story later, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, the Ghana Education Service and HFC Bank have signed a memorandum of understanding to revive inter-school sports competition, popularly called Interco. The 3-year partnership will see HFC Bank sponsor athletes in the country. The bank has presented a check for 125,000 Ghana cedis. The annual Intercollegiate Sports Festival, popularly called Interco, is about to see a turnaround in fortunes. In the past, Interco was an integral part of school's curriculum, which saw students develop their raw talent in various sporting disciplines. Through Interco, the country discovered great sporting talent who went on to represent the nation in international competitions. The euphoria that characterized the competition is non-existent. Little attention is paid to it by school authorities and the general public. In the bid to bring back life to the competition, the Ghana Education Service, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, and HFC Bank signed a 3-year partnership deal to sponsor youth athletics in the country. The partnership is expected to enhance the effectiveness of the competition and unearth new sports talents to represent the nation in future. The managing director of HFC Bank, Mr. Robert Lee Hunt, throws more light on the sponsorship package.
Today, by signing this agreement with the Ghana Education Services, we are signaling our intention to work with this group to take athletics to another level and to work towards the long-term development of athletics and the youth in Ghana. Well, this new partnership will have an initial sponsorship of over 125,000 Ghanaian cedis, which is expected to increase in subsequent years and will include competitions among secondary schools in the districts, the regions, the super zones, and in the finals at the national level.
The National PE Coordinator of the Ghana Education Service, Mr. Emmanuel Domenya, who represented the Minister for Education, said the partnership was timely. The Youth and Sports Minister, Nilante Vanderpoy, hailed the assistance as one that will restore athletics to its former glory.
Lack of resources have made it almost impossible for the Ghana Education Service to do the various disciplines of sports every year. And as such, it creates rustiness in our talents, and also some of them, it takes the attraction of sports out of their lives as they go to school. But now I know that with the support of HFC, we're going to have a sustainable program to have athletics every year in the schools. So that every year, we'll be able to have more talents, nurture them, develop them, and create stars out of them.
Officials of HFC Bank presented a check for 125,000 Ghana cedis as their initial commitment to their investment in the youth of Ghana. The move is expected to trigger a new chapter in the development of athletics in Ghana. The draw for the first ever National Women's Football League knockout competition has been held at the GFA Secretariat. The National Women's Football League's FA Cup is set to kick off during the second round of the 2015-2016 season. The season will commence on the 18th of June this year. To be played on the straight elimination route. The teams that win automatically qualifies to the next round. Should the game end in a draw, the winner will be decided through the lottery of penalty. Here are the pairings. For the Northern Zone, winners from Bonahafo region will tackle Prisons Ladies. Winners in the Upper West edition will take on Real Upper Ladies. Supreme Ladies will welcome Ampem Dakwa. Kumasi Academy then takes on Ashtown. Sharp Arrows will settle matters with Subayo Golden Ladies, and Celebrant FC welcomes Beyond Ladies. Lepo Ladies will battle Baga Baga Ladies. Fabulous Ladies then take on Northern Ladies. Hazakes will take on winner from the Eastern region. In the Southern Zone, Royal Ladies will tackle Anglo Ladies. Combined Ladies will take on Value Girls. Immigration Ladies welcome Bafana Ladies. House Sports will battle John Michaels, with Lady Strikers taking on Police. Soccer Intellectuals will battle Halifax, with Samuel Ladies settling matters with Blessed Ladies.
Stand by.
Sports.
Well, it's time for showbiz. The final funeral rites for the late comedian Bob Okala is scheduled to take place on Saturday at the Arts Center in Accra. An entertainment and art desk takes you down memory lane, bringing you highlights of some performances of Bob Okala.
His name is Samuel Kwejo Boabing, but is known in showbiz as Bishop Bob Okala. He entertained Ghanaians with his remix of songs and comedy. Bob Okala was the face of a popular comedy show on GTV, the Key Soap Concert Party, which was shown every Saturday evening. The veteran comedian was identified with a big clock on his wrist during his performances. Bob Okala joined the Kumewood actors who reenacted the Gold Coast Police performance during the 59th Independence Day Parade at the Black Star Square on the 6th of March. Bob Okala passed on at the Koforidua Hospital Sunday, 13th of March 2016, after he collapsed on stage during a carnival at the Koforidua Jackson Park. The final funeral rites will take place tomorrow, 11th of June, at the Arts Center in Accra.
That is the weather report. Let's a wrap on the news for now. Thank you so much for watching.
Good evening.
So you've been